Hello, my name is Linda, also known as Torta Jala around the internet. I love creative journaling and all things stationery. And this month I'm participating in Junk Journal July, and I've been making weekly videos to flip through the pages that I have created. I am still working in my Moleskine 18-month daily diary in the large size. And here are the final couple of pages to basically finish off this monthly challenge. So, the very first page on the right hand side here is for Friday, July 26th, and the prompt was the word shade. And to be honest, I was not really motivated, or I guess like just prompted really to do anything specific. I didn't have like any kind of great idea, and I sort of thought about like shading something or drawing something that was shaded in, but again, nothing was really like a huge spark, and I guess I wasn't that inspired. And it could be because it's insanely hot right now here, and I didn't have a lot of time, and at the same time, this also happens a lot towards like the end of a challenge. I find that like the last week of the challenge, I'm so glad that like the challenge is almost over, even though it's been fun and I've been creating different kinds of pages and using my supplies and all that kind of stuff. You get to the point where it's like, oh, gotta follow the prompt, and sort of like I'm over it kind of thing. So for this day, I just ended up using like a pretty black and white scrapbook paper here. And inside, I did write the word shade, and I really just journaled about my thoughts of like literally not being inspired, and then thinking about the word shade and what it means, and just journaling about that. And that's it. Like, that is the page. It really is not much at all in terms of like playing with paper or creating something, fancy. No, just very simple, doing that daily creative practice, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not that inspired. So that is my page for the very first prompt of this week. And the next day was a Saturday, and 27 was poetic. And for this, I immediately thought of this screenshot that I actually took on my phone. I'm often reading like blogs and things like that on my phone, and on IG and that kind of thing. And whenever I see something that I like or resonated with me, I'll take a screenshot, and then I print that out and often include it into my journals. So this is actually a snippet from a blog post that someone else actually pulled, I guess, from IG and put it in their blog post. And when the prompt poetic came up, I just sort of immediately thought, oh, let me use that screenshot that I already took. And I just stuck it on the page, and then used some washi tape, used my stickers, and just did like a little collage around it. And it really was sort of literal in terms of poetic, the words that they've written there, and just resonating with me in general. So it says like everyone in your life will have a last day with you, and you don't even know when it'll be. It's sort of morbid, but I mean, it's sort of like the Stoic philosophy of like memento mori, about how we have to realize that our time here is limited, which is why people always say like you need to savor life and take notice of the moments and things like that, because you never know when it will be over, rather whether for you or for someone else around you that you love. So again, just around those thoughts. So that's what I ended up doing for this page. And for the next day, on the right hand side, you'll see that I basically almost only have journaling, because the prompt was buttons. And again, I was not that inspired by the prompt word, and I didn't want to use actual buttons. Like, I didn't want to put something so bulky in my journal. And I thought, well, maybe I could like put buttons under and do like a rub on crayon. Is it a rub on? I don't know what you call it. Like a relief rubbing of it, like we used to do when we were little kids. but I don't really have a lot of buttons, so I was just sort of like, ugh. And I just went into my sticker stash and found some buttons, part of this like sticker sheet. So I just stuck it down on the left hand side, a bunch of stickers for decoration. But really, I just journaled about not feeling that inspired again and just feeling and not really knowing what to do. And again, my thoughts about the prompt buttons and just writing about that and called it a day. And for the next day, Monday the 29th, the prompt was contrast. So I just went into my drawer and got some papers and sort of thought like which ones contrast the most. And I sort of thought about how not only do these two pieces of paper like they contrast in terms of color, but also, an old book page and then this like modern neon kind of paper color, right? So I just stuck that on and I was gonna do more, but I decided just to leave it and like keep it simple. Again, I think it's because the inspiration is waning and we're like at the end of the challenge, but also I'm trying to, sometimes like embrace like negative white space kind of thing, and not feeling like I have to always add something. Now that I look at it, I'm like, oh, maybe I should add a sticker or something, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think that it's okay just being like an abstract sort of like design page. It looks sort of cool. So that's all I did for that day. That's it. And on the right hand side, you'll see that for Tuesday the 30th, the prompt was shine. So I just decided to doodle and doodled like a little girl and wrote shine bright. I used to doodle a lot, like little girl characters, like all the time, like one a day kind of thing, just to be like, this is the girl for the day. And then, I don't know, it just fell off of it, and you can tell that I'm very rusty because I barely remember what I used to do. But I think I want to get back to it. I should go back to creating or drawing little characters or maybe using them to draw like my mood or something like that. I think that would be cool. And then we've got the next page is the final day, 31 for July 31. The prompt word was celebrate. So I just found this like journaling card that says today, with this like old washi tape and just stuck it on my page. And then I used the Dymo label creator to type out the prompt word celebrate, and then just journaled a bit about how I'm glad and like happy that the challenge is actually over, because I guess I've gotten to my limit and now I'm like over it in terms of like following prompts for daily journaling, because usually I'm very like carefree about my journaling. If you've watched any of my old videos or other things that I've done as well, my definition of journaling is very open to, like, sometimes it's just writing, sometimes it's collage, sometimes it's like sticker bombing, sometimes it's like, mixed media, something more complicated. It really could be anything. And I sort of categorize all of that under like creative journaling, because really it's just anything in a book form, right? Like journaling. So I guess I'm over like the prompts and things like that, and I just want to be free and let myself do whatever. And you can see I already stuck in another pattern paper here on the right hand side for the 1st of August, because we're actually going to be on vacation for the month of August. Here in Italy, the month of August is known as like vacation month, even though obviously nowadays it's not like in the old days where everything would literally shut down and like the town would be deserted kind of thing. Nowadays, obviously there's still things around, but the majority of people will be on vacation at some point or another during this month. So I suspect that we're not going to be home all the time, and there'll be a period that we're not even here, so I'm not gonna like lug this giant journal. So I'm just sort of like doing different journaling activities here and there in random pages. So I already stuck that in for that day. But for junk journal July, I'm just gonna consider it done. And like I said, it's because at the end of the month, I sort of like lose steam and just sort of over it and want to be done with it. But I am glad that I participated and I did something with it. My journal is huge and chunky. And I think that in the future, maybe it would make more sense to keep my personal daily journal just sort of separate, so that it doesn't get so chunky. Whereas when I do challenges, that's why so many people make a journal specific for that challenge, right? So that's might be for the future. But I hope you enjoyed watching this little flip. And of course, I had a video for every single week. So if you want to see all the pages in detail, you can go back and check out the playlist of the journal show and tell series where I show all my journals, basically lots of different flips. If you're participating in Junk Journal July, definitely don't hesitate to drop a link to your YouTube or your Instagram down below, because I would love to see your pages and cheer you on as well. And by the way, if you do love journaling and using digital printables like I do, I am building my community on Ko-fi, and you can check out the link in the description below to find out more. But basically, if you join as a member on my Ko-fi, you get all the digital printables that I post for download there. There's art prints, digital papers, and journaling cards every single month. Of course, you can also buy any of the designs in the shop as a one-off as well. And I also have a blog at tortajala.com, and you can go there and download totally free printables to try them out for your next journal page. So thank you so much for watching and supporting me here, and until next time, bye.